out there? It's your girl ALIN. Joining me today, we have Kimberly Rose to talk about her show, Butter. Hello, Kimberly.
Hi, ALIN.
So happy to be here with you today. Kimberly here is a former journalist who's actually been publishing stories for over 20 years, internationally and locally. Some of the places where Kimberly's stories have been published have been in newspapers and magazines, places like The Moth and NPR and Miami Herald. That's amazing, Kimberly. Do you want to share a little bit more about your background in journalism?
Sure. I was a journalist just for a short while. I was a contributing writer for the South Florida Sun-Sentinel, which is the second largest newspaper in Florida. At that time, I remember I did a restaurant review, which almost got us sued. But the writing, as you can imagine, it was really bad. It was called Shrimp, Lies, and Vinaigrette. So you can imagine, after the movie Sex, Lies, and Videotape. I have been writing short stories for a long time. I've had a few published in books and, like you said, on the radio and elsewhere. People kept telling me, oh, when you write about food, it keeps showing up in your stories. You should keep writing more about that. That was sort of the start of my love with food, writing about food. I never did another restaurant review, but I published some short stories that talked about like my memoirs around food and my mother, who I lost shortly after Hurricane Andrew. So I wrote a story about that, and food is really the, theme weaving through that. And then I had another short story about food and art and love that takes place in Madrid. So I thought, I love theater. That's my first love. I think it's time food had its own show. And that's sort of how I decided to focus and write a play only about basically food.
Well, I love it. And I love the title Butter, Kim. So tell us, how did you come up with the name Butter?
So it really is a play about pizza. Just kidding. Butter, I think, represents for all of us. Do you eat butter, ALIN?
Oh, I love bread and butter. Yeah.
And you eat it?
I eat butter.
I had a Swiss mother growing up. We used to go to Switzerland and I would go to France and have that most amazing French butter, have you ever had French butter?
No, it sounds amazing. I think we should plan a trip to Paris and
Let's
have
go.
French butter.
Let's go as soon as COVID is over,
Let's
please.
do that.
Butter is a comedy in the style of sort of I Love Lucy, very physical comedy meets SNL if it was an all-female cast or mostly female cast with a touch of Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and of course the number one godfather of food journalism is Anthony Bourdain. So that's somebody that was really inspiring to me, maybe not for this play specifically, but to keep focusing on food and writing and food poetry. I published a food poem the other day. Yeah, so that's what it's basically about. As you know, well, should we tell everyone how you and I met and how you became my stage manager?
Yes, I would love to. Yes, you and I met at the Sweeney Killing Sweetie premiere after party at the Burren. Which was amazing. And you said to me, you know what? This is a great place for me to have my production of Butter.
Right
here on this stage. And you know what?
Yep.
It happened.
I love it. And you helped it happen. I remember us sitting on the stage and at the back room at the Burren, and you had been the stage manager for that party, and you were you played a waitress. So
yes, I got to play a waitress, which was super fun. It was a great role.
In Sweeney Killing Sweeney. And so we were talking about how you had put together this help with that party too. Didn't you help with that party?
I did. I was assisting. It was amazing.
Oh, can I put in a plug for you? I mean, you are a wedding and travel consultant is your for-profit job. And you're amazing at that. You're amazing at managing a multitude and juggling a multitude of many details. Much better than me, as you can tell.
Well, when you're juggling as much as we're juggling on a daily basis, I don't even know how we make it work, because we're going from one meeting to the next, from webinars to workshops, classes to cocktail hours, and then you've got the role of a mom. So, it all together, it's I don't even know how you do it all. It's
and my for-profit job is as a wordsmith is naming and branding, and I'm working with companies that are usually in a hurry and they need everything done really quickly, and I'll be in the middle of launching a web series, and then I'll get a big job, and obviously I need the money, and everyone needs the money, and I've got 3 kids, one in college, one starting next year. So I can't say no to work. So some days I question my sanity. Well, how did I ever think I would do all these things? But on the other hand, I feel like the creative work is what keeps my sanity.
Absolutely.
So I'm very grateful for that. So you were my stage manager. You became my assistant producer as well. And I'm really grateful that we were able to produce a show almost really quickly after that initial meeting. We had a standing room only crowd on a rainy Tuesday night in the middle of the World Series with Boston winning. I thought no one was going to show up. I couldn't believe it was standing room only. And that's a testament to, our support, obviously a lot of friends and family, but people drove from Rhode Island for that show.
It was a huge success. It was the best night ever. Everybody was laughing the whole night, eating the whole night. So why don't we take a look at a clip of your highlights reel on Butter?
That sounds great. And then we can bring in the cast.
Butter is a comedy about food. It's also a comedy about eating. I would say it's a cross between I Love Lucy and Anthony Bourdain, if they ever went to dinner.
Well, I'm not a big carb eater, as you guys know. I'm semi-paleo because abs are made in the kitchen, right? So I don't really touch that stuff. But that doesn't mean that some of our friends can't indulge.
I thought food deserved its own show finally, and so did eating. And there's something about the society that doesn't like women eating, doesn't like hungry women, doesn't like women who look like they eat. And that was definitely one of the impetus for doing this play. It's sort of a rebellious kind of, here we go.
I mean, a life without pizza? I mean, that's like a life without
Pizza.
life, actually.
It's true.
The first episode takes place in a restaurant. It's three women on a girls' night out and the issues that come up during that night. It's a short comedy. It's meant to be an episodic.
You know what I'm gonna call my show? The Curvy Cuban Eats, while her skinny flock of friends drool and eat rubber chicken.
It's a mostly female cast, a mostly female crew, and it does pass the Bechdel test.
I have a child with life-threatening allergies, to growing up again with a Swiss mother and in a Cuban culture where food is and a natural shape is revered, and then looking at the way we're sort of expected to be like size 0, and it just pisses me off.
We're going to try it out as a web series, and we're really looking forward to working together again as an ensemble cast. Hopefully we can start some conversations there, make some people laugh, because we need to laugh and we need to eat.
It was wonderful, and the Butter cast is amazing. So let's connect them in so that we can talk a little bit further with the cast of Butter.
Woo-hoo, it's so nice to see everybody. And I can't believe there's a thing of bullfighting in the background. I went to a real bullfight in Madrid.
Yeah, and that my brother brought from Madrid in España. It says Carlos Avilés, which is my son's name.
Oh, wow, that's why you got it? I wrote a story about going to Madrid. A lot of it about the food.
Yeah.
Me encanta España. I love it.
We found all these backgrounds. It's awesome. So
How do you
Nation,
tell me how to do those backgrounds?
I'll email them to you.
So here we are with our Butter cast,
Unfortunately, Christina Kostelakis could not join us today.
but she will join us the next time. So as Kimberly and I mentioned, we're going to be talking about stories of food and life in quarantine. Starting here with Allison. Allison, tell us a little bit about your role in Butter.
So I get to play Sloane, who is just so much fun. She's kind of Gwyneth Paltrow-esque. She seems perfect, but she's not. She's on the inside often feels like a failure because her standards are this high for eating healthy, doing yoga every day, really pushing like an organic lifestyle. And like very few people in life can actually make that happen 100% of the time. So it's fun to play someone who really tries hard and really tries to get her friends on board. But at the end of the day, she still eats chocolate in her car.
Which, by the way, I have to interrupt. Sorry. We have a video of Allison eating chocolate in her car. We have gotten close to, between our 3 videos, over 20,000 views.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, we're super excited about that. Allison, do you want to tell about your audition, about how you...
Yeah, so I don't even know where I saw the posting. I have no idea if it was Facebook. I met Kim at this random place. But I felt like, oh my gosh, like this is okay. So I don't know her. I feel like I had to work really, really hard because the role was awesome and I really wanted it. And I thought it was going really pretty well, but I didn't know. And we were just talking about this character and everything. And then we started getting all these creative inspirations at the same time. And one of them was, I mentioned this, which I brought as a prop.
Oh, you're so,
yeah, we're supposed to wash all of our produce when we come home from the grocery store. They're not washed, and there's a lot of bacteria on there, including from people's hands. And now, even more so, we need to be aware of that, right?
Right, with COVID.
But it was a great audition, and then I hope Kim said, "Oh my gosh, that's Sloan right there."
Yeah, didn't I hire you on the spot when you pulled out the spray bottle and started pumping fruit or something?
I think so.
I think I hired you on the, first of all, you showed up with a big bag, which I think we actually used as a prop on the stage. Yeah, so she pulls out that spray. You had it with you.
That's insane.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And we hit it off really well. And you obviously had some great experience, as everyone does in this cast, on, you know, a lot of theater, a lot of film. Martine is back-to-back theatrical all year long. And I actually met Martine through her daughter, who was played a fantastic role in my first 10-minute one-act play that I did for community theater, Play in a Day with Michael Gonza.
Yeah, we were both directing. You were directing too, right?
No, I just wrote it.
Oh, you wrote it. That's right. You're right. I was directing. I directed a bunch of them, and I was in a couple of them. Yeah.
Right.
So, Martine, tell us a little bit about your role in Butter.
So I'm playing Sarah. I am the waitress. She's pretty much a know-it-all. She knows everything better because she's a mom. So of course she's seen it all. So she will tell everybody, like, she treats them like kids, even if they're older than her. She just like mothers them, and she just wants people to eat. She's a healthy eater, has a healthy appetite, and she doesn't really appreciate people coming in and, I want this, I don't want this. She's like, oh, Jesus, get a grip and just eat something and stop whining about it. So. Right. She's kind of the opposite of Sloan.
Lots of laughs that night. I mean, Butter was such a success with you ladies. We had the whole crowd laughing the entire night. It was amazing.
It was fun. It was definitely a lot of fun. So.
Yes, definitely. And Ellie, tell us a little bit about your role in Butter.
So this was like my biggest role in a play, which for me, that's huge, because just before I got onto stage on the day of our play, I've been doing film mostly. So to be doing something like this live in front of people, up to like that 1 second when we had to go out to the stage, my mind is saying, oh my God, what if I forget my lines? That was my biggest fear. No, not only that, but then I thought, oh my God, what if I spill or drop something in the middle of the play? Because I'm clumsy that way. Do you guys remember? Sure enough, I dropped the wine, and that's, I knew it was going to spill, and the only thing I could think of at that second was freaking put your face in that piece of brown bread in front of you. And pretend you're part of the whole show. That was my instinct. That's what I did. It was my instinct. So Yvette is just the Latina who loves to eat. She loves to eat. She has Sloan, who is a yoga guru and who's all organic. I'm like the opposite of that. I like to just eat. I like to eat.
He loves
Who doesn't like to eat?
I know.
Who doesn't like to eat is
wine and eating and
so
that's why she's Sarah's favorite customer.
Oh my goodness,
the
I love
bill
Sarah.
goes up because she'll drink and eat.
Ava, she's obviously has her allergies, so she has to watch what she eats. And Yvette, she gets that, but at the same time, she has a hard time going out with that because they're always picking on what they want to eat. They don't want to eat bread. They want to eat a sandwich without the bread. That's ridiculous. So Yvette is like that Latina woman who loves to eat bread, and she doesn't really, she loves to live. She believes that life is to be lived, and so she won't waste a moment not eating what she loves.
Which I love, and you know, she mentioned Ava, who was played by Christina Costalocos, who couldn't make it tonight, and Ava is, you know, sort of torn between the Allison, who is the reason, the voice of reason, and then Ellie, who is the voice of our soul. and our passion. And Ava is torn between, like I am. I think like we all are, and I'm good with that.
So hard.
Especially during quarantine. I have been eating new flavors of ice cream that are non-dairy, but oh my God. Like,
but it's not ice cream then. What is it?
Cashew milk ice cream.
It's the best.
Oh.
So good.
Did you try the Snickerdoodle?
No, I'm all about cookie dough. So,
it's so good, but have you looked at the calories? It's like 45 grams of fat in a tablespoon.
I know.
Martine brought up the relationship she has with people like Ellie, and we've all been there. You know, we've all been in a restaurant where you can see the waitress likes one person better than the other. Be like, oh yes, you know how to order and eat. I like you. And then like, you know, the other person is like, well, can I have a substitute this? And I need to substitute that. And can you just ask the chef if this is okay? And then this is okay. And I'm sort of more towards the latter, unfortunately. People who know me said, I felt like I went out to dinner with you after they saw the play. But
that's funny.
In the end, it's about the relationships between the characters. The talkback was really interesting too. Like everyone would, you know, ALIN, I loved your quote. Do you remember what you said about how you love to make reservations?
My favorite thing to do for dinner is to make reservations.
Yes, that was the quote. The audience loved all of you. Oh, we have to tell one more behind the scenes story. Ellie showed up for rehearsal one day with that red beret, and her character is based on a friend of mine from Ecuador who moved to Paris and is now one of the big, you know, in charge of high up in Chanel. And Ellie showed up in that red beret, and I just thought, this is so Chanel.
And it's funny because I didn't have this beret before. And my cousin had gone to France to vacation, and the only thing she came back with was this beret. So I showed up that day with the hat after she came back.
Oh my
and I
gosh.
said, and then you loved it, and so this hat is part of the show. So
it's become like a trademark for me because you're in the middle, and Aaron Emanuel, who took some amazing still photography, was also an assistant stage manager, also an assistant producer, also did the sound. Along with the burn back room, of course, but he took a lot of pictures of you guys, and Ellie's in the middle with the red hat and the black background, and it was just, what gorgeous pictures we got. Weren't they amazing?
It just really stood out that way.
You know, Martine, you brought a lot to the role too, and you just put your like exasperation, probably with being a mom, and also
it's from working at the Ritz-Carlton. I used to work for the Ritz-Carlton.
Oh wow!
So yeah, and in 1996, I went to the Olympic Games in Atlanta. So they had us work in every single part of the hotel, wherever they needed help.
I grew up in Wyoming, like rural Wyoming, and these memories just came to me. But we had one fancy restaurant in our little town of 10,000. It was called The Broker, because it was like the only thing to convey like non-ranch world, right?
Ranch food is good, isn't it? Isn't it like cowboy steak? Like, I love ribeye.
Yeah, but like that's what you eat. So it's not a treat to go out to have that, right? That place you could get fancy food like Rocky Mountain oysters. Do you guys know what that is?
Yeah.
You don't, Kim?
No, what's that?
Bull balls.
What?
Yes.
Is there any way to get that here?
Allison.
There you go. Cheers. Chin chin.
Cheers.
There you go.
I have Poland Spring because I have to work.
Cheers, everyone.
That's okay.
Let me just say, when the most I do is 2 glasses of wine, and when I do that, I'm usually like asleep in seconds. But I have so much fun, and you think I laugh loudly without it? Imagine. I mean, I lose my mind. Everything.
Oh, I love it.
Miracle.
Oh my God, I'm sending you over a bottle of wine, and we definitely have to get Sloan drunk. She sounds like she's gonna be a good time.
All going out to dinner and reliving butter for sure. This summer in the city, dining out in nice weather, good food, good stories.
I can't wait.
Yes.
Never take for granted again that we can go out.
Yeah.
Right. It's been intense and amazing. I think what I'm most grateful for is, first of all, my health, but also just it's been great to see how connected we all are. And I think you feel it now, you know, and it just shows how much we need this connection that we're doing now, that we provide with our art, with our plays, with our movies. People, you know, they can't live without it. Movies are through the roof. Web series are through the roof. Zooming is through the roof.
Yeah.
And all socials up through the roof. We can't live without it. And it's as important to human beings as food, water, butter, everything
Oh,
here.
we love it,
Casey,
yeah.
it's so funny because we joke about the butter and the bread and like, okay, can you live without it? Yeah, but do you want to? But you always take for granted connections and talking to people. Can you imagine if we did not have Zoom,
The
and we
internet.
didn't have technology?
I don't know if you guys know, but I've been teaching since this whole thing started. I that's how I'm earning my income. So I'm teaching Spanish, but I'm also teaching aspiring actors the business of acting.
You taught me. You're an amazing teacher. I'm taking Spanish
Thank
classes
you.
with Ellie so I can finalize my Spanish.
Yes, but I'm teaching children too. I love children because I can be a child, and they're so much fun to teach.
It's amazing how creative we can still all be from home, because I was just telling Kimberly before, like I'm still going from one meeting to the next, webinars to workshops, classes to cocktail hours.
We had that acting class, that reading class with Rachel.
Book club, yes. with
God, that was so
Rachel.
cool. That was
It's
so
amazing.
cool.
Yeah.
They
And we
end
do
you
play
guys, though.
readings. Yeah, we
And
do
Allison
play
and I
readings.
also have done a play reading with Rachel, which has been amazing. So yeah, there's a lot to keep us all so productive.
Listen, we've been doing makeovers at Mary Kay. I saw Mary Kay, so we've been doing Zoom. I'll email stuff out, so I can email you samples, and then we can do a makeover online. And then you just like, put this on your face, put the mask on, or wait 10 minutes. Like, and it's like,
So I don't really know how to do makeup, as you probably know. And hey, I'm on TV, honey. Anyway, so I would love that help. I recently bought some stuff like before this all started. I bought bronzer.
we do classes. We have like professional trainers. They do weddings and stuff, and they do these.
awesome.
They'll come in and they'll do a Zoom class.
Oh, you've got to share with us. Definitely.
I love bronzer. I love.
But you're
bronzer.
naturally gorgeous, all of you, so you're very lucky. But yeah, I've never been so productive in my life, but it's becoming a problem. It's almost, I'm too productive. Like I'm gonna burn myself out if I don't, I've been trying to balance it. Too blessed to be stressed, but we created a highlights reel, which, on video, which is doing great on Facebook. We worked on the script for the series, and then my naming business has been back to back to back to back to back.
You know what? I think, not to interrupt, but I think that we all will find the silver linings of this. For me, as a mom with 4 kids here, I feel like I'm learning how to manage emotions. Like I've obviously always had 4 kids, but one was away at college.
You sure one wasn't right?
I have 7 to 19, and
Wow.
I've lost 45 hours of kid-free time. So my productivity has gone way down, but I still do nonprofit work. I still try to train for acting, and I'm still trying to feed and clothe and laundry and keep a house going. But my silver lining,
You're all heroes.
my silver lining is that thankful that we're all together.
Oh, so I've been trying to do some pro bono work, and there was a helping chain that they formed on Facebook where everyone was helping each other with bills. In one of my women's groups, they're like, just tell us what you need. It's got to be in a certain range, like 25 to 100, nothing big. And people were just paying each other's lighting bills, diapers.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Lots of
support
business
out there.
women.
There's a lot of resources. A colleague of mine actually just did an interview on that, and we were sharing a ton of resources with Somerville Media, because
That's awesome.
There's a ton of assistance out there. Having the different groups, having the different hotlines, there's a lot of resources for support. And it's nice that everybody just gets together and just supports one another. But I feel like us as women, just talking about, our lives and being creative, I feel like there's nothing that we can't do. It's all about women empowerment and always just working together and learning so much from one another and just being a part of so many
I think in time of chaos, I feel that as women, not to say that men, but I'm not trying to be funny, but I feel that we as women, we have a switch inside of us that sort of goes into okay, what needs to get done? What do we need to do? What do we need to accomplish? And I really truly believe that, it's time for the world to have females for rulers in the government.
Amen.
We are wired to multitask.
Yeah.
And I think that this is a time where, like you're saying, Ellie, you have to prioritize amidst chaos, and you have to try to be as calm as possible, which I haven't been, fully admit. That's why I eat chocolate in the car. Yes, I eat chocolate in the car. I just got
It's a joke. It's a joke.
No, but it's not really.
I said sweetie.
She's adorable.
She wants to know what a chocolate
That's
is.
your mini me. That's your mini me.
Yeah, she's a little
know,
beauty.
she's so
She
cute.
looks just like you.
And her name is Ava.
You're kidding. Oh, we have to make a part for her in the show. And Martina, I would love to have Isabel in the show or do some web series work with us.
For her, yeah, she'll love that.
Yeah.
I want to know what everybody's gonna eat next. What's your favorite snack that you're gonna eat?
Chocolate covered nuts.
Chocolate. Oh, nice, yum.
I don't
I love
snack. I don't snack, Martine. I don't snack.
I don't want to hear about you. You lost 7 pounds. You just need to be muted.
I will be on my yoga mat with a jar of Nutella and a glass of red wine once we get off this call.
That's my girl. Good job. Good job. So my favorite thing is when we were in Disneyland, they have this Dole Whip, pineapple Dole Whip. So I get pineapple juice with some vanilla ice cream and some chunks of pineapple. And I put it in the blender. Thank goodness I have pineapple vodka and mango vodka.
Oh my God, I want to do that.
That is so good. It's like an alcoholic creamsicle.
Kids and we cooked last night. We did a beautiful stir fry. We made it sort of like chicken cashew, but we didn't have the cashews. But
You know,
I made chicken cashews, but without the cashews. That means you had chicken. It's like when you get a chicken sandwich, but you don't put the bread on it, you just have a grilled chicken breast.
now you know where it comes from. This is my life. This is where it comes from. It's COVID. Like if you're missing one ingredient, you don't go out to get it. You just make do.
So I thought, I really want some cake because I'm really a cake person. I'm really a cake person. Like I could eat cake every freaking single day. So I tried to make a freaking cake. Dude, okay, I did everything right. I can't follow instructions on how to put on makeup. I can't follow cooking instructions either. So don't make me, because I'll fail. And it turned out to be like a pancake instead of a cake. It's flat. It was like, my son is like, what the heck is that?
I bake a lot. I could teach you baking. You could teach me Spanish.
Oh, there you go. It's a
bake in Spanish.
I just had a burst of creativity. I have my own show like you, ALIN, which is called The West 10.
congratulations. Please share.
I love that show.
I love it too.
We
Awesome.
have one coming out today, but it was really awesome because our cable station came to me and my friend Kristen with the idea, and then we just kind of ran with it. It's on the local cable station. It's called The West 10 because it was supposed to be 10 minutes. And we can't get under 10 minutes anymore. You have to do, like, it used to just be me doing funny writing and stuff. And now we have like interviews and people actually learn stuff. And this last time I got really tired of myself being on it a lot. And so I created a character who's going to come back numerous times. Her name is Susan and she's from the Midwest. And she has a cooking show. So you're going to see that she's making some pesto out of garlic
the mustard greens.
Garlic mustard, which you can find in your yard.
Amazing. Well, looks like we might have to have Susan on the show so she can show us how to make pesto.
Oh, she would love to.
Women supporting women, ALIN. I really appreciate it. You know that you're always there for us, always trying to support and network with each other. And you introduced me to Kathy Yee, who ended up being the director of photography. You introduced me to Erin Emanuel. I don't know what I would have done without those two because that's enabled us to put this highlights video together. Actually, I sent it to an unscripted TV producer out in LA. So who knows if something will come of that, but we're using it to create a web series or an episodic. So that was key. So thank you for supporting women. Thank you for supporting artists. Thank you for, you're like
hosting this show.
Yeah, respect your hustle. You are always hustling in the best way possible.
Absolutely, ladies. And you all inspire me. So let's continue the women empowerment.